is we talk. Let's go.
What up, everybody who has all sorts of different chromosomes to make you a human being. How about that? How about you just cut the middleman out right then and there? How about
Well,
we
all
do that?
right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't do this, you don't do that. I can't get any controversy for telling facts. What's happening to all my people with enough chromosomes to be a human being? How y'all doing? This is the issue we talk.
It's gonna be
I
one of
am.
them shows, huh?
It's gonna be one of them shows. One of them shows. But and I'm even trying to do this show differently. I'm gonna try to do this show all the way through, all the way sober. So let's see how
Okay.
that goes. Let's see how
Yeah.
that goes. Fun fact: I put more of a filter on when I'm drinking. So so we'll see how far this goes. Um,
Oh yeah.
but let's get the pleasantries out the way before I even go anywhere. You can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Shout out to my people at Twitch. I don't know why. I just like saying that name so much. But hey, shout out to my people at Twitch with all of your teabagging antics. Um, I am the host of this show, the black smoking, the joint toting bad MO that you see in front of you, Lee Double E. I am with the co-host of this show, the do all be all, the lady that pushes the bells and the whistles, the one who puts the bang in the shebang, the one that puts the whirl in the twirl, the one who puts the button to the explosion. I don't know where I'm going at this point. I will
Yeah.
say, let's give a round of applause for my co-host Lindsay.
Hello, hello everyone. How are you today? How's it going?
Everything is going legit. And again, for my people that come in late, this is the issue we talk. We have a couple of things we're going to talk about.
Mhm.
It's going to be a couple of things we're going to run through that has happened during the couple weeks that we have not been on the air. We've only missed a week, so we haven't missed anything. But what I
Yeah.
will do before we start, what I will do before we start, everybody has humble moments. I got humbled this week, and I will say this:
Mhm.
uh, when we were on, and I spoke about Magoo, I will say this before we start. I apologize for anybody who felt like I was trying to make fun of that man. I did not try to make fun of that man. If you watch that podcast, I did say for the time he was in when he was a part of that super group of uh the whole hierarchy of that whole clan from Virginia that was pushing unison, doing their thing. He was a part of that. Not only was he a part of that, he was a top general in that. I never wanted to disrespect Magoo. So if you feel like I was disrespecting Magoo in any type of level, I do apologize, and I will apologize for that. Because listen, I started off in my whole journey of anything is I always wanted to be an MC, like I pointed out last week. So I do not talk about any MCs, period. Because um, just because I thought I was good, what I lacked was outlet and phenomenal hustle to make me even remarkably even touch the things that Magoo touched as far as being an MC. So I do want to apologize if you think I was trying to downplay him for saying that he just wasn't my cup of tea. That wasn't saying that he wasn't good at his craft. He just wasn't um, what I listened to.
So what Magoo fans came at you?
It wasn't Magoo fans. It was one of my homeboys uh that was like, "Hey, you got to stop talking about rappers because you wanted to be a rapper at one point in your life, and so good or bad, as long as they got famous, you really can't say anything about them." And I said, "You know what? You right. That makes a lot of sense. I really can't."
Okay. Had a humbling moment, I see.
Yeah, everybody needs a humbling moment. I had to think about that. Like, yeah, I have no right to talk about anybody who tries to get in the genre that I wanted to be in.
So that means that no more Silk the Shocker bashing will occur.
Uh, no more. I won't say I don't think I was bashing Silk, but I will stop saying that he's a shitty rapper. Yeah, because what
Okay.
he has is what I didn't have, and that's a phenomenal hustle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And a brother who doubled his hustle.
Exactly.
You know. So I'm sure Silk will be proud.
Yeah.
So.
My homeboy said, "Man, you got to stop talking about you. You talked about Magoo, you talk about YG, and he named somebody else, but he was like, you got to stop talking about these people because these people are actually famous. They actually did something that you didn't do." And I had to like sit back and like take that slap in the face, like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
you 100% right, my nigga, and I got
What
to
do you
stop.
be saying about YG?
You said what?
What do you be saying about YG?
I've said some things about YG. Not that I don't like YG. It's just like sometimes I used to say that I couldn't get with some of the things he was saying. It was you know I don't want to like dig back into it, but I've said some things that I apologize about that too. Because
Mm.
I've said he wasn't a rapper of my he wasn't my cup of tea. But then I had to think about it, like, hey, yeah, he is, because he's, you know what I'm saying, because he actually pushed that phenomenal hustle to being a household name. Grandmas know about YG, so I got to stop being that kind.
Mm. I don't know about grandmas. Maybe your
Grandmas,
auntie that keep her ear to the street, but I don't know about grandmas. Because I
grandmas know
mean,
about YG.
grandmas know
I ain't,
about Snoop.
I ain't gonna
They
say
know about
grandma.
Snoop. I don't think. Yeah. Mm.
No,
Mm.
California grandmas know about YG.
California grandmas that used to wipe his booty when he was a baby know about YG.
Nah, not all of them. I can guarantee you, in his town, a lot of it's some grandmas who know YG.
Mm. Okay. Mm. Yeah. Okay. But I like YG though. Um, I was a bigger fan of him, like his first album. I don't really fool too much with the stuff currently, but I don't have no problems with him. Yeah. So, but D Harold is watching, and he says, "What's the line between speaking from a place of comedy, though?"
Hey D, it's not really a line on that, because I would be lying to you if I talk about a rapper um and didn't want and didn't want a piece of what they had as far as celebrity. So even when I make
Yeah.
jokes, it still sounds like it's coming from a part of hate. How my homeboy broke it down to me, because, like, say for instance, like, say tomorrow we get famous, people
Mm-hmm.
are gonna bring up, hey, he used to try to, know what I'm saying, Lily used to rap back in the day, and he never got famous from that. And so I don't want to be the one that's talking about rappers and then decide to dust my mic off, and then end up they Tisha Campbell in me. I don't. So I'm gonna have to humble myself so I won't be Tisha Campbell out in this bitch.
Damn, so she's a verb now.
Hey, for real, listen.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Um,
so I don't want to be out here talking about I'm still here and nobody is
but
trying to check for that.
Right, right, right. D Hero says, "Gotcha, that makes sense." All right, so you ready to get into these topics?
Yes, let's get into them topics. We
Um,
take left shots, but that was just a left.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes we start out going left.
Man,
So first thing we want to do is we want to offer our condolences to the family of Bob Barker. You know, Bob Barker was the host of The Price is Right for umpteen years. He pretty much was a lot of our babysitter back in the day, or we had bonding time with our grandparents while watching The Price is Right. So he was 99 years old. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. He definitely lived his life. And you know, help control the pet population and get your cats spayed or neutered. So there you go.
man,
You have any thoughts?
it's when this was ran through the internet and I seen it, like I woke up and I seen that, and the first thing that popped in my head was uh the Adam Sandler movie, when he
Yes.
had fought Bob Barker and he was like, "The price is wrong, bitch." And
Right.
when I thought about that, it wasn't like I was making fun of Bob Barker and them, but that was one of my memories of Bob Barker, and
Mhm.
I was just like, damn, like it's kind of crazy because that was like you said, that was like for a minute that could have for one point that could have been a couple of our listeners, a couple of our viewers, babysitter, or that was bonding time you had with like your grandparents, things of that nature. So you hate to hear like somebody that like had had a real pinnacle part of your life, man, getting up out of here, and then to get up out of here at 99, that was crazy. Cause like
Mhm.
if anybody knows the price is right, um leaving cashing out at 99 without going over $1, like that was
Right.
exactly what that was, you know what I'm saying? That was exactly his stitch my whole life. So that shit was crazy.
Yeah. D Hero says, I really thought Bob and Victor from Young and the Restless were immortals. When I was born, his hair was white even then. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. You know, Victor's still around, so and
that's the
he's
thing
still
that see,
on the
that's the
Young and
thing
the
that
Restless.
throws people out.
Right. Right. It really does. It really does. You
Because
know.
you don't expect these
But
people to die. Like, listen, I know a couple of a couple of episodes ago, I've said this, like, about Queen Elizabeth. Like when Queen Elizabeth died, I well, before Queen Elizabeth died, I know I said it has to be a glitch in the matrix because that lady been 88 years old ever since I was fucking in the third grade. So this lady, and it's people like Queen Elizabeth, like Bob Barker, these people were supposed to they was always supposed to be always here. Like damn, what is it, the um what they call it, the Mandela effect or something, where things just things end up changing, but they're the same. I forgot. I'm
the
not even gonna act
butterfly
like
effect?
I.
Is it the butterfly effect?
It is no, it's not the butterfly. The butterfly effect is whatever you do in the
Okay.
past. If you try to change the past, and whatever you do, like move a piece of paper or talk to the wrong person, it affects the future. But no,
Uh,
like how for instance, like how they say Sinbad's movie Kazam doesn't exist, or
mm-hmm.
things of that nature. Like I was like, man, these people, like you said, Victor Newman, Bob Barker, Queen Elizabeth, these people, I just was in my mind, I was like, they not supposed to die. They gonna be around when I pass.
Right, like seriously. That's what it's looking like for Victor Newman.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, like he said when with Bob Barker, man, as far as there and anybody know, like I'm in my 40s. So um when I was a kid, he was an old man with gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's 40 years. So for me, Bob Barker's already 209 years old. Like, y'all saying like 99. I'm like, nah, because that would mean 40 years ago, he was what, 54? He would have, that's how he looked at 54?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, but think about it, because I mean, take us for instance. There's people that's our age or even younger that are gray, been gray. So I mean, we always think that gray automatically means you're old, but it doesn't
right.
necessarily mean that, you know. And then now we're looking at age in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Because we used to think 40 was old as hell. Now you're here,
That is
you know?
very, very true. That is
So,
very true.
yeah.
I had a lady think I was lying when I
But
told her I was 40 the other day.
did you catch me when I said now you're here?
Yeah, yeah. I caught that. You know, I don't, you know, I'm unapologetic about my age.
Yeah, I'm not quite there just yet. It's so funny
It's all
because
right.
like it's so funny because I went to my old church today, and I went for a funeral. So R.I.P. Mrs. Haskins, but I went for a funeral and I ran into a whole lot of people that I ain't seen in God knows how long. And of course, they still look at you as kids, so they be like, "Oh, how old are you now?" Blah blah blah. And you know, in real life, you ain't supposed to ask no adult woman their age. That's like a no. But when you run into people that you've been knowing all your life and they've been adults all your life, they still look at you as kids. You revert back to being a kid, but in the same breath, I was like, I'm almost 40. So it's just weird that I mean I got that a lot today. Well, how old are you now? Yeah. Yeah, I'm grown. I'm real grown.
I'm about grown,
But
grown. You hear me?
that's how it is. Right. Yeah, so but that's how it is, you know. But RIP to Bob Barker.
R.I.P. my guy.
So, moving on to another person that's in his later years that probably already passed away and we just don't know it yet is Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, he has, excuse me, um, he has frozen for a second time in public with being asked one of the simplest questions, and they cleared him again. Like a doctor saw him and cleared him. What are your thoughts about this? Because he's still in office. He's, from what I understand, he's still planning to run again for reelection. And we know what it is. Like the Republicans don't want to give up that seat, but we can't be hard 100% on Republicans because Democrats are doing the same thing as well. There's a lady that's a Democrat out of California, and she's 90. She's in her 90s. If she's not 90, I think she either 90 or 92. I can't remember, but she's still holding office, and she got a caregiver. So yeah, like they do it on both sides. But what are your thoughts about this?
First and foremost, I want to say, hey, Mitch, you had a terrific run for wherever you did, man. um, and I hate that they are parading you around like a circus monkey because you need to rest. Uh, I
Yeah.
that's the first thing I'm gonna say. Second thing I'm gonna say is um, I really hate that we're so flawed as a country. Well, we're doing this to a man because, like you said, we don't want to give up a seat of power. We don't want to give up a seat of power so much that we got a man that is visibly tired of what the fuck he has to do, and it is kicking his ass. Like, listen, um, at at this point, ain't no telling what Mitch got. Mitch got everything wrong with the light that is twicking, that is clicking on and off in his brain right now, and y'all are still pushing him around to do God knows what for somebody that he don't give a fuck about. He's done with the presidency. He doesn't care about it. This man has lived his life for better or for worse. Y'all need to go ahead and let that man go home in peace. And it and
Yeah.
this is what's so flawed about our government system, because somebody could take the reign. All these people who is trying to be his handler, quote unquote, could take the reins of what's going on and just let it, know what I'm saying, and just let it ride. You don't need Mitch's face to continue to run whatever the fuck y'all been trying to run. Let that man go. Let that man go ahead and get set out to pasture, as we would say. Because he's not
Hmm.
there no more. Like, for real, it's like, and slowly but surely, we've been watching this man slowly but surely sound like, I ain't even talking about the visual. I'm talking about just from Mitch that I know for about 4 or 5 years now has been sounding like, I am so tired of this fucking job.
Yeah. Right. Right. I agree. Because he used to have a very strong voice,
Yeah,
figuratively and literally, and it's not there. It's like it. He looks like a shell of a person. It's sad to see, you know. No, I mean just putting politics to the side, like just as a human, it's sad to see, and you want to get to a certain point where you can retire and just, chill out the rest of your years and not have to worry about a job. And y'all still got this man on his job. Like,
yeah.
what? Like, and you don't want to say, oh, it should be an age limit because that would be ageist and probably low key against some type of rules or regulations with jobs. So I would think that you just need to have like a limit on how many terms or how many years you can be in office, because this is just
Yeah,
getting out of hand. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And just let some new people come in.
I mean,
Let some new
this
blood get
clearly
in there.
shows you. This clearly
Yeah,
shows you that he doesn't, like, he's not capable and he's not fit. Like,
yeah,
I don't care if it was one freeze, two freeze. It's one freeze too fucking many. Like,
yeah.
y'all knew what the fuck he was gonna do before y'all even put him in front of people, because he's been doing this.
Right,
This ain't nothing new to y'all. Y'all
right,
got 3, 4 handlers with this nigga a day. So this nigga been doing this. This nigga's been doing this at
right.
home. The reason why he got handlers in the first place is because he damn near burned his goddamn house down. Now listen, that was a lie. I'm just making shit up. But what I'm saying is, the reason why y'all are having people holding court in front of this nigga is because y'all have caught this nigga outside of cameras doing this same shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I gotta get that man a
yeah.
break, man. Get that man a break.
Yeah, like seriously. D Hero says not even being political, but at this point, I see no difference between Biden and McConnell in regards to old age. The signs are there. Time to let go. I agree. I
I
agree.
agree. Man, I 100% agree, man. Listen, y'all say what y'all want. about
I mean, shit, all
either
of them
one of
for
those
real, for
people.
real.
You said what?
I said all of them for real, for real. Throw Trump in there too. He old.
Yeah, I mean,
Shoot.
at the end of the day, man, we really got to pay attention. Like even like 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 we talking about Mitch, but let's talk about good old Biden, man. Biden had not one but several brain surgeries. Like at this point, like we should
Mm,
start really putting these things in perspective because we want these people to not only, it's one thing to say, "Hey, I'm the president of the United States," but it's another thing to like not only say that, but then turn around and say the president of the United States holds the biggest title in the world as far as a super powerhouse. So all of these things need to be accountable, and these people need to be in a right state of mind when it comes to things like, and again, like what you said, I ain't saying it has anything to do with age. What I'm saying is it has a lot to do with your cognitive ability to function on your fucking own, and these two niggas that we talk about cannot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They can't. They can't. And I mean, you just got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. You know. I mean, for real, for real. It's. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous, and it's like, what are y'all waiting on? You know what needs to happen at this point? You know. But but yeah, yeah. So that's Mitch. Uh, like we'll be following to see what what transpires out of this. But hopefully he'll be telling us that he's gonna retire because this is really getting out of hand.
He ain't gonna be able
Um,
to tell us nothing. This nigga's gonna get on stage and be like, what we talking about again? What we talking about again? And they're gonna be like, "Yeah, you gonna retire, right?" He's gonna be like, "You know, retire."
but he can tell us in a letter that somebody wrote for him. How about that?
Yeah.
That'll work. Yeah.
Just send this nigga
So
it's like have a moment of 5 minutes where he's just fine and ask this nigga where he want to be. I don't give a fuck if he tell you, "Hey, I want to go to New Mexico." Send this nigga to New Mexico and then write a letter and let this nigga live his days out.
yeah, yeah. I'm 100% behind that. You know. So next up, Brittany Renner. So Brittany Renner was on a podcast called the Danza Project. It's a podcast that apparently has been around for a minute, but this is my first time ever hearing of them. So shout out to them. But she was on their show with Charleston White. Um, and what went viral was a clip of her yelling about how she was torn during childbirth. Mind you, she's in a room full of men. And then she also got up and gave Charleston White a lap dance. So this was a a podcast that streams on YouTube like we do as well, and live like we do as well. What they ended up doing was they made the live private, and then they released the whole show in clips. So, and this was pretty much after the whole clip of her giving a lap dance and yelling went viral. What triggered her was if anybody doesn't know Brittany Renner, she's an internet personality, and how she came up was that she was in a relationship with a basketball player and had a kid with him, and now they're no longer together. So she's a a baby mama that even got famous, basically. But um, she was asked because apparently this basketball player that's her baby daddy just signed a new contract, which is very lucrative. So she was asked how does she feel about that. You could tell she was visibly caught off guard with the question, and it just seems like that's what triggered her to start acting very weird. Um, and then not to mention she was also drinking as well. What I did was I watched um the whole interview that they've put out thus far because they're still putting out clips like
Mm-hmm.
even earlier today. They were still putting out clips. So I watched all the clips that they put out, which is at this point I think 11 clips, and she was fine up until she got asked that question. Now, this is pretty much her quote unquote claim to fame is her being this dude's baby mama. So she shouldn't have necessarily been caught off guard by being asked a question in regards to him. However, um, it obviously is a trigger. And I've said this before. I don't know if I've necessarily said it on here, but you don't always know what your triggers are. Me personally, I don't know what all my triggers are. I don't know until the shit happens sometimes. So she obviously was triggered and she started acting erratic behind it. But beforehand she was very aware. She sounded very intelligent. She was very engaged in the conversation. It was a very great conversation that they were having. um Charleston White is a very polarizing individual,
Mm-hmm.
and um I've heard of him, of course, because he's gotten into it with a couple of famous people, or whatever. But I've never sat down and listened to him and listened to his talk or anything like that. So to listen to him in the interview, it was just like, wow, you know, I see why he's controversial, but then I also understand what the point that he's trying to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, yeah, they were having a great conversation all the way up until that point where she was triggered. So um, just unfortunate that it took a turn, but had it not taken the turn, I never would have known about this podcast, nor would I have watched this interview. So, what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
First and foremost, shout out to Charleston White. Before we get started with this, I'm one of the people. If anybody knows me outside of the podcast in real life, I'm one of them that I don't. Uh, I always say Charleston White is the wrong motherfucker to fuck with, because for some
Yeah,
strange
yeah.
reason, man, Charleston White knows how to win the crowd over. Now, I'm saying it in this situation. The Charleston White that I'm talking about had nothing to do with it. It was just like you said, it was just a house of a figure that Charleston White is, um, and how he totally throws people off guard. Um, was one of the reasons why I think Miss Renner um, went out that way, because she didn't expect to agree with a lot of things that Charleston was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another thing I will say about that the whole situation was, and you know me, I like to keep it a bean. I like to keep it 100. When you don't have anything else to offer, you only offer what you've always been offering people. Um, Brittany Renner is a very talented individual. She is a very smart individual. But if we just go through what we've seen as far as her celebrity, the only thing she's had to offer was pussy. And when she was triggered, he went right back into offering pussy.
Hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying. That was my thoughts on the situation. My thoughts on
Mm-hmm.
the situation was, hey, um, they went through it. She's already Brittany has already been hammered for getting this quote unquote young man and then suckering him into a baby, um, and getting child support from him, and then turn around and be like, boom. On top of that, all right, he shook past you and signed a deal that's about $50 million that you ain't gonna be
Mm-hmm.
able to touch, and yeah, that triggered you because. Let's put things in perspective. Every woman ain't built to be a hoe. Sometimes that's just the profession that chose you. Maybe she really did love this little young boy, but you know, she things happened the way they happened, and she ended up having to cut away from him, but still having the luxury of him being a basketball player. So she was going to get some money out of it, and people turning her into into this, quote unquote man eater for doing what she's doing, and that was a trigger for her. And so she went into what she knows best, and that's just to, know what I'm saying, to offer pussy up to get people to not try to talk about her so much.
Hmm.
Oh, you be surprised. A lot of these women that throw pussy out there, they throw pussy out there because they don't want people to actually really start digging in and asking real questions about
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's deflection technique.
them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
Yeah.
I just think I think it was one of them. I believe she was. I believe she was fucked up, and I believe she was triggered.
Yeah. Yeah, she was, I mean, watching the interview because like watching the interview, you can definitely tell that something clicked and she checked out. She checked out. And she started being like irate and belligerent. Excuse me. Throwing shit and all kinds of stuff, just being
Yeah.
disrespectful and whatnot. But yeah, but it just she didn't. I mean, instead of just simply saying I don't want to talk about that shit or whatever, um, she did that. And then I mean, and the crazy part about it is because we don't know you outside of this whole situation, you will get asked questions about him. Um, but maybe it was just something in that question in particular that triggered her. I don't know. I mean, but it was unfortunate because, like I said before, she came off very good. Like this could have been a redeeming interview for her. You know what I'm saying? Because she came
Hmm.
off like I didn't know too much about her. I don't follow her or anything like that. So for me to see this interview of her, I'm like, she's coming off very well until you get to that point. But like I said before, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have even known about this. So D Hero said people underestimate Charleston, and that's a huge mistake. He also says you speak in wisdom. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
that's the thing is with Charleston White. Charleston White is one of those people who, you I'm a stickler on it. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a stickler on what people say, you know, um, because Charleston White always tells you that this persona that you see on the internet is made up. This is a character. This is a character to
mhm,
bring people around so he can actually show you what the fuck he actually be out here doing. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and he mentioned that as well in the interview.
Yeah, people always just look at the surface level of Charleston White instead of getting to know
Hmm.
Charleston White. That's why you have people that really do fuck with Charleston. You know what I'm saying? Like the long way, and then you got people that only
Yeah,
look at Charleston on a surface level, and they you know what I'm saying, and they try to come at the character that is Charleston White. But
yeah,
I mean, to try to peel those layers back, man. It's always gonna be one of those things. And I think it enticed Brittany. I ain't saying it enticed her where she had to do what she was doing, but it did entice her on a mental level where she was like, oh, I could talk to him. But at the, you know what I'm saying, at the point of she could have had a serious intellectual conversation. She was drinking. She might have been getting high. You know, motherfuckers love edibles nowadays. She might have been high out of her mind. And then, always getting reminded that the person that you left is no longer is not even tripping off you, and is actually not only making power moves but actually making lucrative power moves. Yeah, that's a trigger to people.
Yeah, that would be a trigger to me. Like, I mean, it's not an abnormal trigger. It's just the way that you handle your triggers, you know.
Yeah,
And you know, not talking to her, but watching the interview and whatnot, I do believe her when she said that she really thought that that person was her person. She really was in love with that dude. Like, it wasn't on no gold digging type stuff. I mean, I know it looks like the exterior looks that way, like the optics of it ain't helping, but yeah.
I believe so too.
D Hero
I
says,
believe so too.
yeah, yeah. D Hero says, how should or would y'all handle the Britney situation if it happened on y'all podcast? Good
I
question.
would have ate that shit up, my nigga. Oh my god. Listen, dude. If we would have had the luxury of getting Charleston White and Brittany Renner on a show, and she gave this nigga Charleston White a lap dance, because that's basically what it was. It's a goddamn lap dance. Um, I would have ate that shit up like it was Soul Food Sunday candy yams, and I would have promoted the dog shit out of that. Right? Now, at the same time, I would promote that if she would have acted the way she acted, the outright way she would have acted, you would have also watched me check the shit out of Brittany Renner. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
get it and I understand that you're hurt. And I understand, what I'm saying, we're coming from a place because, like Lindsay said, I'm with Lindsay. I truly believe that she actually at one point felt that that was her person. You got to understand who Brittany Renner is, and Brittany Renner been fucking a lot of celebrities for a long time. None of them motherfuckers she wanted to give a baby to. She gave a baby to this man. So that does mean something. So I get that and I understand that's triggering, but you're not gonna do that. Like pouring water on my if she would have poured water, first of all, she'd have poured water on Lindsay. Lindsay probably would have knocked the teeth out that bitch mouth. But that's nor here nor there.
Yeah.
But I'm saying pouring water on Lindsay and then pouring water on Charleston White at the point where I'm doing a podcast, I would have had to check the shit out of it. Because like I get it, I understand, but if you hurt, let's talk about it.
Right. Me personally, it wouldn't even got to the point where she was giving lap dances and throwing water. Because once she started yelling, talking about y'all shut the fuck up, and when I'm talking and all this type of stuff, like we would have had a conversation then. Like, I'll turn this shit the fuck off because we about to get into some things for real, for real. Because what you're not about to do is be disrespectful to anybody around me. You know what I'm saying? Like that went too far in the beginning. And I get you want everybody to pay attention to what you're saying because it's some deep shit that that you're touching on deep to you and whatnot, but you ain't gotta be disrespectful about that shit.
Yeah. It ain't
So
deep to me. I'm not fucking an NBA player or a WNBA player. Or nor did I have a baby by them motherfuckers where they left me and then signed a $50 million contract. So, it ain't that deep to me.
yeah, yeah. So I don't think the interview would have gotten as far as the water and the lap dance. So, but yeah. But
I would have loved it. I would have loved it up until the point where because like I said, all the clips that I watched, the 11-part clips, I don't know when the lap dance or the water. I don't know if the water happened before or after the lap dance.
I think I think it happened after. I think
Mm.
it happened after the lap dance.
Oh, well, given and given that case, just answering D Hero, it wouldn't even have got that far. As soon as she would have grabbed that water, you know Lindsay, so I don't even have to explain anything to you. As soon as she would have grabbed that water, Lindsay would have would have grabbed that water too. Like, hold up,
Yeah,
what the
we
fuck
would
we
have
about
all
to
been
do
baptized. Right.
this for?
Everybody would have been baptized in this motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I think she was yelling first and then the lap dance and then the water. But
Yeah,
when she
I
was
knew the
yelling,
yelling had to come first.
she was throwing the water bottle. Yeah. Yeah. But she was throwing the water bottles before the lap dance though. Like it was crazy. It was crazy, but but in the same breath, I get it. Them triggers is a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Them triggers will have you down for the count.
Man.
So
Especially when you see a motherfucker. I am,
I get it.
and that's no downplay to anything. I am only talking to from a real case scenario. When a woman, I don't give a fuck if this woman never speaks to you again. Don't never talk to you, and I'm only speaking through experience. A woman could never talk to you, never be around your circle, any of that. Um, if she hears that you are happy, even if she don't want to even be around you, if she hears that you are happy, that kills her. If that's a woman who always wanted to trump you, if she always wanted to be something to be like to have that lingering over of he couldn't keep me. If she finds out that you are happy and you're not worried about her, that is a ultimate trigger for her. I will honestly say that, and I can say that from experience. I know a motherfucker, if they hear anything about me, it's like stabbing them motherfuckers in the gut. They hate to hear that shit because them motherfuckers just want me to be miserable. So it could be one of those things because she
Well,
thought that was her
it
person.
can be like that for some women.
Yeah,
It
that's I
can
ain't
be like
saying
that
all.
for
I'm
some
saying
women.
some women.
It can, yeah, yeah, like, and then also um, it can be what's going on in their life. If their life ain't up to par, and then they find out that you're doing better than them, then that can be an issue. But if their life is up to par after leaving you, or you leaving them, and then your life is the same, less, or even better, but not better than them, then sometimes they cannot give a fuck. You know, that can
Mm,
be that could be a way that that's handled. And then you do have some people who just it don't matter what's going on in their life. If they really like that for you, they really like that for you. But that can also play on what you meant to them, you know. But then in the same breath, just the mere thought of said person can take somebody left because maybe their thoughts of you is all bad and or like some it just wasn't a good situation, and all they can think about is all the bad stuff, and maybe they suppressed it and now it's coming out. Or it comes out every time you get thought or every time you get brought up. So it can be different things that can trigger you, um they had mentioned him before and she acted normal, but I think it was the whole new contract, and they was asking her how she felt about it.
yeah.
So I'm like, that's a new question because it's a new contract, But I don't know. So that was that situation. Um, Hopefully, we'll start seeing the more positive side of Brittany in the future because I did appreciate that. You know. So next up is we can go with something light before we go to the fuck shit. The Book of Clarence trailer. Um, did you watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer.
Cool. So, if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, the Book of Clarence is a movie that is slated to come out in January, and it is starring Lakeith Stanfield, and it has a bunch of other people. And basically, the Book of Clarence is Lakeith Stanfield playing Clarence, and he is around the time when Jesus was around, and he's looking at Jesus, and he's wanting to become like what Jesus is. So he turns into a false prophet for money. And it looks super good. It's not, I know a few people have asked, was it a true story? No, it's not a true story, but it does have biblical characters. I'm I'm willing to bet money that nobody in 33 AD was named Clarence.
I I I,
It's-
I, I just don't get some.
yeah.
We're so fucked up nowadays as a people and doing our own history research that motherfuckers will actually ask the question like that. That is fucking mortifying to
Yeah,
me.
right. What makes it even worse is that you can really tell how people just did not go to church at all, did not pick up a Bible, wasn't taught the Bible, nothing of the sort. Barely know how to spell Bible.
That's so
But
scary,
yeah,
man.
and yeah, Clarence is not a book of the Bible. Clarence is not a biblical name.
It's
So
not a hidden scroll that's locked under the
no, it's
Vatican.
not.
None of that bullshit.
Right, right. Yeah. So my nephew I probably have said this before, but my nephew has a friend named Clarence. And for the longest, every time he brought it up, every time he came around, I would be like, Clarence parents have a real good marriage.
I couldn't get it off. I started laughing as soon as I said, ah, Clarence
Yeah.
fans got a real good
And it
marriage. Yeah.
and I said it a few times before. My nephew was just like, "What is that from?" Because 8 Mile is 22 years old this year. Like, wow.
Is it 22?
So yeah,
Damn.
yeah, it came out in '01. So yeah,
Mm.
my nephew wouldn't know what the hell I'm talking about when I say that. So I had to pull it up for him and everything. And so, like, when I stopped saying it, I was like, "See, I didn't say." I was like, "I was around him this whole time. I didn't say it not once." So yeah, but yeah,
I can't wait to work with somebody named Clarence. Like, cause I'm going to say that all day, every day, just because now I know that you used to hound a child with that. I know I can fuck up a grown man.
man. And then probably like a couple weeks ago or something like that, I think my mama asked where Clarence was, and I was like, he's with his parents and they're real good marriage.
to any viewer, to any viewers that don't know what we're talking about, fuck you. That shit is funny.
My nephew
Listen,
he just walked away when I said that.
what a time to be
Oh my god.
alive. If you were born in 2000, you had a time to be alive.
Right.
Mm, mm, mm.
Right. So love 8 Mile. But anywho, back to the book of Clarence. So Yeah, I'm all in. It looks really good. It looks really good. And then did you see the guy that wrote and directed The Harder They Fall wrote and directed this.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z's one of the producers.
Yep. I'm all for it. I want to see it. At the same time, the Jehovah Witness in me is looking at it like, ooh, I hope that they don't.
Yeah.
I hope that in this, the end game is how not to envy a motherfucker. I hope it's not
Hmm.
no silver lining for Clarence, because
Yeah.
I mean, especially being a false prophet, if I mean, if you actually had a background in church or any type of religion, you understand that Jesus' whole point for a stint of his life was exposing false prophets. So you
Hmm.
know, I hope it's not one of those things where he is looked upon favorable in this movie, because then a lot of people are going to misscrew the Bible, because a lot of people, like I said, don't do their own research. They just go off of what they see, just like motherfuckers
Right.
really thought Abraham Lincoln versus vampires was a goddamn true story. um, you really gonna have to start doing your due diligence to
Right.
actually read,
That's
folks.
so crazy.
Man, that fucked
Yeah.
my whole psyche up. I
Yeah.
really started
That's so
looking at white
crazy that
people
people
like,
yeah.
the opioid pandemic fucked y'all up massively. Y'all mamas was so fucked up, y'all actually thought that Abraham versus fucking vampires was based on a true story. You fucking idiots.
Right. I was just like y'all cannot be serious right now. And I liked that movie. I went to the theaters and saw it and everything. But I was just
I
like, y'all
fucking
cannot be
love
serious
that
right
movie.
now.
That movie was fucking
Yeah.
hard, but
It
I
was
knew it
really
was a
good,
lot.
yeah. Yeah. Like yeah. And then like the guy I don't even remember him going on 106 in Park promoting that mug. Like the dude that played Abraham. And he
Hmm.
was just so chill. Like he was cussing and everything. But yeah, like that's funny that people was really like really thinking that. But but no. The Book of Clarence is fictional. Just has biblical characters in it. But I am all in. I can't wait for it to come out. Next up, so we have Spice versus Erica Mena from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Now, this is let me get situated for this. All right, so Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is a show that has been on for like 11 years now, and was initially on VH1. Now it's on MTV. We have a couple of characters by the name of Spice, who is a reggae international superstar. She's actually really a big deal, and she is on the show along with Erica Mena. Erica Mena was initially on New York, um, and how she plays in all of this is she was a video vixen at one point, and now she has married and divorced Safari. Safari used to be with Nicki Minaj for like 12 years. And so yeah, Safari and Erica Mena, they was married and divorced. They got two kids, two little kids. And so not even gonna hold you. Safari took that girl up and threw it. That girl look she Erica Mena is a very pretty woman. But that man that whole the stress of that whole marriage, divorce and all that physically took a toll on her. So yeah. And then mentally of course. and she's still dealing with that, even though like the divorce is final and whatnot. So, Erica is the type of person that lives online. She is always in. She was always on the internet, on social media and whatnot. So, she has been blasting Safari for various reasons. One of them saying that he didn't pay child support. So Spice was being recognized in Miami, so they all took a trip to Miami. Safari now lives in Miami. He's actually on Love and Hip Hop Miami now. And when Spice went to Miami, she had lunch with Safari, just pretty much to see what the hell is going on, because Erica says all it is. Safari don't blast her on social media. So we only getting one side of the story. So she was prepared to go into that lunch with Safari, kind of like berating him, like, how the hell you not paying your child support, blah, 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 blah. So when the shit get brought up, Safari's like, I'm paying my child support. Let me show you. So he pulled up all the receipts, also told her that they're still having sex. He said the latest was probably like a month before they sat down. So now she got all this information, and now she's looking at Erica as, being a liar. So, fast forward to this past week's episode. In this past week's episode, um, Erica and Spice end up having a sit down. When they have the sit down, one of the things that got brought up prior to them having a sit down was that Safari has sent Spice these notes, because Spice got real sick a few months before they started filming, and she almost died. And she was like in the Dominican Republic, and it was like a big ordeal, right? And Safari has sent her these voice notes saying, just please tell me you're okay, blah, 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 blah. Well, you can hear Erica in the background, because I guess Safari was crying. You can hear Erica in the background, like, how the fuck you gonna be crying over her, but you didn't cry over me? And what she's meaning by that is that when Erica gave birth to their second kid, their son, she almost died and the baby almost died. Although Safari was there for the birth, Safari left and went to Jamaica when she had to get readmitted back into the hospital, and her son never left the hospital. So, while they're going through all of this in Atlanta, he's in Jamaica living it up. So she's feeling some type of way, because she's like, I was your wife. I was your wife, and this is your kid, and you weren't here for us, but now you crying real tears for somebody that you ain't even related to. So, um, Spice confronts her about that, and Erica is trying to explain why she was saying what she was saying in regards to that. Spice wasn't trying to hear it. Spice was already on 10. Spice went for the jugular and brought up her son. And she was like, because Erica got an older son. And so Spice started with her and was like, you act like you the only woman in the world that's gone through a divorce, that's gonna be a single parent. I've been a single parent for 14 years. And so Erica was like, well, I've been a single parent for 16 years. And she was like, oh, you talking about your son that don't even like you? My son loves me. Why she say that? And she was like, wait, what? Kind of caught her off guard a little bit. Then Erica throws the table on her. So when Erica throws the table on her, now everybody's getting up. All the security and producers and shit are in frame. They're holding them back. They're yelling at the top of their lungs at each other, throwing out all kinds of insults. Spice is still coming at her about her son hates her. You mad? This that, and the third. They end up escorting, because they was in a restaurant. They end up escorting Erica out of the restaurant. So Erica is on the sidewalk right in front of the windows of the restaurant, not the sidewalk, sidewalk, but the walkway. While she's out there, she's talking to producers, and she's just like, "Why is everybody trying to come at me because my son don't want to be in the limelight? I'm giving him what he wants."
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, Spice is yelling through the windows, and Erica starts yelling back. Erica starts calling Spice a blue monkey. Why she do that, Lord? She called her several blue monkeys. Then they escort her to a SUV to take her away. While they're trying to get her in the SUV, she didn't stepped on that step right before you get into the SUV, and she's like, "You blue monkey, ooh ooh ah ah," and so that's when they finally push her in to the SUV. Now, excuse me. Now they split this scene up with a commercial break. Right before they came back from commercial break, they put a disclaimer, and they was like, "There's going to be a racial slur, and we're still trying to figure out the ramifications behind this." So you already going into the second half of this argument, like, what racial slur are they referring to? Well, it was the monkey. So the internet went on fire, and they're split. They are split down the middle. One half of people are like, "There's no excuse. She's racist. She needs to go." The other half of people are like, "Well, Spice brought up her kid. There ain't no rules in fighting." So, my thoughts. Spice was dead ass wrong. Period. Full stop. Spice was dead ass wrong. However, there is so many things you can say to Spice that would have took that shit to hell. But you went to the deepest, darkest part of hell with calling her a monkey. Like, there's no coming back from that. Like, you gotta go. She could have said so much to her without going racist. So yeah. Um and then we find out today's Saturday. Um we find out today that VH1 went on ahead and said that they were not going to have her come back for the next season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Well, did I say VH1? I meant to say MTV. But I'm like, great, kudos to them for getting rid of her for next season. However, we also had this issue with Evelyn Lozada the last season that she was on, and she didn't come back the next season, but she's back now. So she should have been gone as well, and she didn't get fired for the next season. She decided not to come back for the next season. I'm looking at them as one and the same. They both fucking racist for going there calling black women monkeys. So yeah. So they both need to go in my eyes. But yeah. But those are my thoughts. So what are your thoughts about this?
It's just really, really sad. I'm just one of those people that always says it's just really, really sad when I see people of color um, on TV having these type of arguments, and then their colorism and prejudice comes out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Erica Mena from What All We Know About Her. We know a lot about her. We know she loves black men, but we also know she's not a black person.
Right.
So um, for her to step out of her character now, regardless of what Spice has said, even though what Spice said, yeah, that was very hurtful. But her prejudice came out, and one of the things I always tell people is like, this should not be a surprise for anybody. You think that this woman is the one that triggered that? She has probably did this plenty of times around black people and nobody batted an eye. She just happened to
Possible.
do this now on camera. This is one of those things
Mm-hmm.
where it's prejudice and it's colorism and it's put right up out there. And this is something that she's always that's always been in her because it came off her mouth to slick. Now, if it'd be one
Mm-hmm.
thing if she said you blue monkey one time and just went on a tirade of calling her every other animal in the book, you could say, oh nah, she was just talking about it. But just to keep it up, you already know know what I'm saying, what they call people of color, especially dark skinned people of color. So know what I'm saying, you know what you were doing, and then to make monkey sounds. You know what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have black
She
children.
know exactly what she's doing.
Yeah. You have black children. So this is the thing that makes um out of everything that happened, the thing that bothers me is you have this type of colorism and this type of prejudice knowing you have black children. This is one of those things where people really should, and I hate to say it like that, but it should be one of those things where you should get tomatoes thrown at you when you at Whole Foods, bitch. Like it's something like you got me fucked up when you I'm one of those people that I do not like any person of color who uses other people of color. You know, because it's fine to be, you know what I'm saying, to be cool with the blacks when it's helping you and moving up your career. But at the same time, you want to turn around and as soon as you get hurt by black, your prejudice comes out, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
your colorism comes out. And this is the thing that you're teaching your children. So your children are going to end up either hating themselves or they're going to end up being just like you. They're only going to allow a certain amount of people around them that they deem that is worthy because of colorism.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and like for
Yeah.
that, like it should go beyond, you know, with you know, just being kicked out of a show or canceled off a show. It should be one of those things where if I lived in wherever you live, if you live in Miami or you live in Atlanta, if I catch you at Whole Foods, I'm gonna throw a whole fucking tomato at your face, bitch. Like it just one of those things. Like call me a monkey.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. You know, that lady said some hurtful shit, and you know, but you know, I would have the same feeling if the shoe was on Spice's foot and Spice would have said some prejudice shit to Eric Mena.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it's people of color. People of color, we got to understand that us as people of color, man, we need to stop using those stereotypes that kept us down in the first place, especially against each other.
Yeah. Yeah. But but the thing is that this is just another example of how a person of color views black people and how people of color and black people are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Like this is another example to add to the list of examples of that. You know, like we get treated totally different. We're on the bottom of the totem pole whenever you do anything. You know what I'm saying? And and at the end of the day, white folks don't like none of us. You know what I'm
No,
saying? So, but
like,
they
yeah,
look at it and they're like, well, at least I ain't that.
right. Erica Mena is not about to be on the Housewives or fucking Pennsylvania or whatever the fuck they got out there. They're not gonna accept it.
Yeah, like seriously. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. But we don't have a problem with accepting her with open arms. And then she does this, and this is the part that sucks about. This is the part that sucks about Erica Mena and about Evelyn because again they're one and the same to me at this point. I used to freaking love both of them. They were extremely entertaining on these shows. They were my favorite at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I supported both of them, you know? Like they were like my favorites. And to go from being my favorites to now I can't stand neither one of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's crazy. That's crazy. But I mean, you let your racism flag fly, and I just can't get with that. And the killer part about the whole Erica and Spice situation, Spice ain't got no fucking room to talk. Her kids live in a whole different country. She ain't raising her kids. Her mama raising her kids. So it's
Right.
like, girl, you could have took that shit to hell. You could have most definitely took that shit to hell. You could have won. You could have been the victim. You could have been on. You could have had everybody on your side had you played this right. But you went racist. That's your first line of defense is going racist. Like, nah, man. You've been wanting to say that. That's how you really feel. That's how you really feel. So thank you for letting us know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the heads up now,
I mean, she could have
but
did
excuse
anything
me.
but the monkey
But
thing.
she could have said so much. Yeah. Like
That's
I
what,
would have
that's
if
what
that was
bothered
me,
me.
I would have wore Spice ass out. I would have wore her out. Like she would be wanting to fight me every time she saw me how much shit I would have said to her, but I would have never went colorist and I would have never went racist. Like
Nah,
you went
she could
there?
have said
Come
anything.
on.
Listen, she even if you just gotta talk about her because she's Jamaican, and you know how Jamaicans talk when they get upset. You could have rolled that out. You could have been like, "You old deck of cards talking ass bitch." She could have did anything. You know, they get to rolling off at the tongue. Fuck up, pussy pop, blah, blah, blah. You don't know what they talking about. They sound like somebody is shuffling a deck of cards. You could have said that. You could have did anything but call this woman a monkey.
Enemy. Right, right. You could have said anything. I would have been like, well, bitch, at least my kid is here in the States. I don't need no fucking passport to go see him, bitch. Like I would have wore her ass the fuck out. I would have wore her out. Like and then on top of that, like Spice don't have near one of her kids with her. At least Erica got two of her kids. I would have been like, dude, you trying to come for me about my one kid, but you ain't got neither one of your kids. At least I got two of my kids with me. I'm not a FaceTime mom. The fuck out of here. Like I would have wore her out. Like she would have been crying in the car. I would have wore her out so tough. Like, but you went racist. And I can't get jiggy with that. And Spice was dead ass wrong. Spice was dead ass wrong. First
Mm-hmm.
off, she in y'all business. She shouldn't be in y'all business. Secondly, she brought up your kid. She brought up your parenting. Like, uh-uh. No. And then on top of that, she wants to try to justify the shit by bringing up she was posting clips of when because Scrappy brought up her son a few weeks ago, and then a few years ago Stevie J brought up her son, and she didn't flip out. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what you want her to do? Fight a man? So and then all they did was just say what Stevie J just said, go take care of your son. And then Scrappy just said, what about your son? Spice said, your son doesn't like you. My son loves me. So that hits harder than what they were saying. Even though they all was wrong for bringing up her kid. But that hits harder. But I would have wore her out. Like I would have wore her out. So yeah.
And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. She was like, I'm sick of you niggers always having something to say about my kids.
Right, 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 straight up. Like I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Like one,
Man,
two, three, that's enough.
that's it.
One, two,
I'm tired of it.
yeah. Like y'all gonna remember me. Yeah, we gonna
That's
remember
crazy.
you.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So the internet went into complete uproar mode, and yeah. But like I said, it's split. Like some people are defending her because Spice was wrong. And then some people are like, "Fuck that shit. You should never. You don't have to go racist to get her back." So
I mean, that's true. Anybody that's defending Erica, man, I hate to say it like that, man, because I don't want to judge nobody. But if you defending her, you're the same people that will allow people to say things like that to your children or your nieces, your nephews, your mother. You have to really realize, especially if you're a person of color, um, none of that should fly. I don't give a fuck what Spice said. It shouldn't be in a situation in any situation, famous, non-famous, the lady at the grocery store, the person at the gas station, the bitch on the bus stop. It should be in no way, shape, or form where somebody demeans you like that.
right,
You know what I'm saying? It's
right,
just
1000%.
you got it. You cannot say, hey, that gives you a right to do that, because when you say things like that and you put these type of energies in the air of, hey, that was said because of this, and I totally agree with it. That means if the shoe was on the other foot for somebody that, you know what I'm saying, in your caliber, or somebody in your family, or somebody that you cared about, that means if they said something to hurt somebody, they can turn around and be racist and prejudiced to them. That's what you're giving them. You're giving
Right.
them that leeway. It should never be a point where prejudice and racism should be a focal point of an argument.
Mm-hmm.
It should
Right.
never go that way.
Right.
You know, that
Right.
in my opinion. I've been in situations, you know, and I'm just one of those people that I'm gonna just stand up for people of color, you know. All people of color, I feel like they should not be prejudiced or racist towards each other. At the same time, um, excuse me. The same time I say that, I say this: if Erica Mena was a white lady, and that white lady would have did that, I would have thought it was to be expected, and I would expect the ICE to drag the fuck out of her. I don't give a fuck if I said anything about your son, bitch. Don't talk about my color.
Yeah. And then you wouldn't have people talking about, well, it's all fair and because it was in a fight. You wouldn't have you it wouldn't be split down the middle. You wouldn't have people defending the white lady if the white lady had said that. Because there have been numerous
Exactly.
videos where we see black people and white people getting into it, and the white person goes racist, and you don't never see nobody in the comments taking up for that white person
Right.
ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
So
can see where she's
yeah.
coming from because you talked about, nah, that ain't how it works.
No, that's not how any of this works. So, but yeah, yeah, but that's Spice versus Erica Mena. Um, yeah. So I guess we will see. Like Erica's been quiet um on social media since all this aired, but we shall see. We shall
I'm gonna
see.
start calling Erica Mena
Oh,
Freezer.
not
That's her
Freezer.
nickname for me. Her
Why
name is
Freezer?
Freezer, man. She's free because Freezer is the only motherfucker I know that everybody still has a love-hate relationship, and he loves to just sit down and be like, "Hello, monkeys," and nobody gives a fuck.
Mm, yeah.
So that's free. She's gonna be Freezer in my book.
Right. 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 So, moving on to the last thing, which was continued from last week. Um, I saw online where there was a debate on this song, "Secret Garden," Quincy Jones's "Secret Garden," and it featured Barry White, uh, Albie Shore, Al DeBarge, and James Ingram.
James Ingram.
And they were debating on who had the best verse. So I thought it would be cute for us to talk about it. We've done this before, I think with rap songs.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, me, going off of memory, I was like Elder Barge. But then when I played it again, I was like, I'll be sure.
What?
Yeah, it was I'll be sure for me. Who do you think got the best verse?
Listen, dude. Okay, first of all, this is one of my fucking favorite songs. This song still got
Really?
it still got pulled to this day. Listen, you can play
Yeah.
Secret Garden anywhere and it still slap.
Yeah.
Okay, so the person who had the top tier verse in that song is James motherfucking Ingram. Oh my God. What are
You
we
know,
talking about here?
a lot of people, a lot of people did say that. A lot of people did say that.
This is see that
Uh,
song is for grown people. And see, this is how this
yeah.
in my
Yeah.
format of my head, this is how it should go. If we're gonna go, who has the best verse? It should be James Ingram. It should be Barry White. It should be El DeBarge. Then it should be I'll Be Sure. Only reason why I say that is because this is a grown man song. James Ingram and Barry White was saying the most grownest shit in that song. El DeBarge was trying to be sweet. I'll Be Sure was trying to keep up with grown ass men. Y'all
Yeah.
have to listen to that. You have to listen to that song again, and you know I'm not bullshit. Come on,
Yeah. I give you all of that. I give you
James
all of that.
motherfucking Ingram was saying some shit that nobody was saying in the 80s. This nigga looked a bitch dead in the face and said, "Let's make movies." And I'm talking about fucking bitch. Listen, nobody was talking that shit.
Yeah. I give you all of that. I give you all of that, but I'm still rolling with I'll be sure. I don't know, like
Hell nah.
it just hit a certain way. I think it's because maybe I remember that verse the most. When I started playing it and I was singing with it, that's the one I remembered the most. So maybe that's the reason why. But that was my favorite one when I played it as an adult. That's the crazy part because we played this shit as kids. We had no business listening to
No
this
business.
song as kids. Like my aunt used to play this song when we would go over her house. We had no reason. There was nobody should have let us listen to this song when we were kids. But not only was they playing it, they was playing it on the radio, and they was playing the shit like it was a gospel hymn. Like,
But I was about to say, man, if you think about it, growing up in the city, growing up in Kansas City alone, that
yeah,
was our introduction to the Quiet Storm.
yeah,
That instrumental played the whole way through the Quiet Storm, from the beginning to
mm-hmm.
the fucking end.
Yeah, yeah. Just the production on it alone, man. Quincy Jones is a genius. He's definitely a genius. But yeah, but yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'll be
I didn't
sure.
realize
I'll be
how much
sure
of
it's
a
like a
debate.
grown man, Lindsay.
But the fact that he was keeping up with them, though, that's dope, though. You got to give it to
No,
him.
it's not. Because it's not. No, when I say keeping, he was trying to keep up. He wasn't. Listen, James Ingram was talking
You don't
about.
think you don't think he held his own?
I No, I don't. I think he was in there. I think Quincy is a genius because he put him in there before because at that time, with the soulful singers that he needed somebody to get the young audience. He needed to get the the 18 and under crowd, and that's why he had Al B. Sure. Because if you think about it, if he really felt like Al B. Sure was going to be something that would bring it home, he wouldn't have been the first person singing.
Well, if we go back, that time I believe for one he was like his protege at the time, and on top of that he was a huge deal. So I can definitely see why. And then you don't want him to be the anchor. You got to have Barry White be the anchor. You know what I'm saying? So I could
Barry
definitely
White.
see them,
I'm grateful that Barry White was the anchor. I really in a perfect world, if I was to do that song, I would always make I'll Be Sure number one. I would make I would take James Ingram and I would take Barry and I would switch them. Just because I want James Ingram's ad libs on the end of the song instead of the middle of the song. Cause this nigga could have this nigga James was like in the middle of the song, you knew this motherfucker is about to get carried by some real voices.
excuse me. Okay. Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
but yeah, it was I just I feel like I'll Be Sure was just, he was in there just listening to grown men. You know, he didn't drown. You know, he stayed above water, but that was definitely out of his league. Just listening to it now, and it's like he was out of his league. He was too sweet on these hoes. These niggas was being soulful with their beautiful voices, but they were really putting it down on hoes. If you listen to what James Ingram was saying, if you listen to what Al B. Shore was saying compared to James Ingram, it sounded like
Mhm.
a eighth grade letter and then a grown man talking to his wife.
Oh Lord, it's not. It don't sound like. I don't sound like no eighth grade letter. Oh my goodness gracious! All right, I'm trying to pull it up, but there's like several different versions of this song.
Yeah, it's a lot of versions now.
Speaking of versions, did you know that there is a version that came out 2 years ago with Sean from Boys to Men, Cisco, Raheem Devine, and Omar White or Omar Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did know that.
I didn't know that till a couple weeks ago, and I watched the video. I was impressed.
Thoroughly, you should be thoroughly impressed. That's a good remake.
Yeah, I was very impressed because I went into it like, what the hell is this? But yeah, I was thoroughly impressed. But
That's a
yeah,
good remake.
yeah, there's
I
like a
give it to
million
you.
and one versions. But yeah, let's see. No, yeah, okay. I think I have them now.
I was about to say, you trying to
Um,
pull up Al verse, little kitty ass verse.
let's see. I want to read your minds, know your deepest feelings. I want to make it right for you, baby. Show me. Let me share the mystery. Oh, listen to your heart tonight. What's wrong with that?
Nothing. But in this, okay, now again, like I said, that was an eighth grade letter. Now listen to James. Now read James shit.
um. Okay, hold on. Let's see. I'll take good care of you. That's what a man is supposed to do, and I'll be there for you all the time.
That's
Let
Barry's
your
voice.
hair. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, that's
I keep you
Barry's.
satisfied. No, hold on. Yeah, they don't got the names of them. Hold on, let's see. I know a melody we could sing
There
together.
we go. There you go.
Okay, I know a melody that we could sing together. I've got the secret key to you, baby. Let's make music, harmonizing ecstasy. Come on, sing it to me. Okay.
Yeah. Now compared to
And he's
what
in the
Al just
chorus.
said,
Well,
well, you know, yeah. Thank you,
you
Lindsay.
can't just come out the gate. You can't just come out the gate with what James said.
Your
You
facial
know.
expression said it all. Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah. I don't know. Matt, I like Al's better. I mean, I went into it remembering that I liked Elf better, but then when I
Yeah, yeah.
listened, I I changed my mind from L to Al. So
That's
I
sweet.
don't know. If
That's
I
sweet.
listen to it again, I might change my mind again.
Yep, yep. You gonna listen to it one night. You gonna be like, God damn, that nigga James Ingram shit was hard. It not only was his verse hard, but his ad libs for the chorus made his shit way better.
Yeah, yeah, I did like his ad libs, but I remember liking L's ad libs the best, and that's the reason why I had said him first.
See, I do, and initially when I seen that, I was thinking about El DeBarge's ad libs on the chorus too. But then when I was listening to it again, I was like, nah, James killed it.
Mm-hmm.
James, he killed that shit.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot of James in the comments. It was a lot of James.
You
So
gotta respect James, man. James killed that shit. James really made James made that song so good. James and Barry White made that so good. They are the only ones that actually can tour or could have toured singing that song by themselves without anybody else.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, Al wouldn't be able to sing that song myself
No,
at
Al
all.
couldn't sing it by himself. James
No.
could sing that song by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Barry could
could.
do the chorus and do his verse by himself.
Yeah.
Al DeBarge
Yeah.
would have did too much crack to do it by himself. Not
Look. All
downplaying
right.
El DeBarge, but we all know, hey man, that light skinned nigga was on some cocaine.
Have you ever seen the Bobby DeBarge story?
No.
Yeah, it was a movie TV One put out a few years ago. If you get past the bad acting and the bad wigs and the low budget of it all, um, they really had a fucked up life. Their
Yeah, they
father
really
was
did.
hell on wheels. Yeah, their father was hell on wheels. It was the worst,
Yeah,
the
I
worst
remember
of the
they
worst.
unsung. I remember they unsung. That's how. Yeah, they had it rough.
Yeah, and I believe the unsung is what made them go on ahead and do the movie.
Yeah, I could believe that. 'Cause I was whenever Unsung came out, that was the year that I found out that they were black and white. I thought the LaBarges was a bunch of Latinos my whole goddamn life. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think we all did. But I didn't know what Latinos was back then. I thought they were just Mexican. So,
And they was
but
I knew
yeah,
they was something. I
yeah, I
listen.
think we all did too.
I thought they were way more into tamales than they was hamburger helper. Let me just put that out there. I was like, damn, them niggas is black and white.
Yeah, yeah. Mama black on top of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yep, yep. But that's that. Yeah. So I don't have any final thoughts. So Jerry's final thoughts, take it away.
Shoot. My final thoughts for this one would just be simple. It's adaptability. And in this world, man, it's going to be a lot of things that happen as we seen. Um, just going off of what we have now, man. We got Bob Barker dying. We got my man Mitch losing his marbles on TV. We got people that we used to put in a high esteem, showing us that they really don't give a fuck about us. Um, and this happens to everybody all day, every day. It doesn't take the TV or the limelight to show you things like that. This is happening, but makes what makes us are the incredible people that we are, especially as Black people, is our adaptability through all this. Whatever all we done seen, You know what black people are gonna do with this? We're gonna adapt and we're gonna learn to not only overcome this, but be better than this. And that's my only final thought with this is because that's one thing that I love about my people is our ability to adapt and be better and do everything that we see and that is hurtful and could knock us down even on this little segment that we had and this platform that we have. Um, it still shows us that through all this, we can still adapt and be better. Shout out to Spice. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Charleston. Rest in peace, Bob Barker. And I love all my people of color that love my people of color. And as always, take care of yourself and others.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And shout out to Clarence and his parents and the real good parents.
You know what? Oh yeah, I'm so sorry because I don't want to disrespect this man either. Hey, shout out to Mitch, man. I hope you really I hope you get whatever you need to retire out here, my dude. For real, because they got you out here bad. But yeah, shout out to Clarence.
Yeah.
And shout out to Clarence's parents. And shout out to Clarence's parents for the real
Right.
good man. Jesus Christ.
Right. We all strive for that
We're
real
all
good marriage.
strive to have Clarence's parents married. Shout out to Eminem for making parents and marriage rhyme. Jesus Christ.
Right. Right. Because I know something about you. But yes, this is episode 92 of the Ish We Talk, and we will see you guys on episode 93. Bye.
Exactly.